In courtrooms across the country, legal decisions are made that can affect your life. Stay tuned and learn your legal rights and how to protect yourself, your business, and your family. Coming up next on Legal Minds. When you have a legal issue or question, sometimes it's difficult to get through the process. There are many meetings to attend, many documents to go over, and much terminology to learn. But understanding your rights is important. And today, we'll hear from some of the area's top legal minds who will provide you with valuable information on a number of legal concerns.
Society says that a person is guilty until proven innocent, but that's not the way the law should be. That's not the way the law is in the United States. And in the United States, a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. That's what my firm is about. My name is Victor Revill. I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I practice right here in Birmingham, Alabama, and I represent people on a wide range of criminal defense cases. Basically, when they are charged with crimes, they call me. If someone wants to get in touch with me, they can do several things. They could call my law office. My number is 205-521-9929. They could also go to my website at www.revillawfirm.com. I make sure that every single person that contacts my office feels important. I make sure that if someone has an issue, if someone has a problem, then they know that I feel that they are important, that I am willing to fight for them.
All legal matters that are filed in the court system are classified as either civil or criminal. Civil cases usually are disputes between private citizens. Examples are disputes with property, business, divorce, domestic issues, adoptions, and the like. Criminal cases are brought to the court by the government. The government makes the charge because the crime is considered an act against all of society. The two main classifications of crimes are misdemeanor, which is less severe, and felony. Being accused of committing a crime can change the life of you and your family. The steps you take during the legal process can sometimes mean the difference between incarceration or freedom. In 2004, according to the Department of Justice, approximately 2.1 million people were in jails or prisons, and 4.9 million more were in some form of community corrections. In order to prepare your defense, your legal counsel is key. Let's hear more from a local attorney.
When someone is pulled over by law enforcement, they need to, first of all, be calm because it's just, you're just being pulled over. Don't panic. And go ahead and get your license and registration ready for the officer, have it ready for him when he comes to the vehicle. He'll ask for your license and registration, give him that. But also do as little as possible. You're not trying to do too much. Do as little as possible. Give them your license and registration. And let them do their job. A lot of officers at that point want to ask them, may I search your vehicle? Do you have any problem with me searching your vehicle? People need to know they have a right to say no. Once someone's been charged with a crime, first you want to make sure you tell law enforcement that you want an attorney. You want to exercise your right to an attorney. And you want to exercise your right to remain silent. At that point, law enforcement is building a case against them, and anything you say at that point will be used against you. And so the best thing for that person to do is wait till they can talk to their attorney and wait to see how they should go forward. Because that attorney is going to advise them of their rights and advise them of their case. That attorney is going to advise them that they have a Fifth Amendment right to not be a witness against themselves. So that means that attorney is going to tell them, hey, you can be silent, you can be quiet, I'm here, I'm going to work your case. And that's how a judicial process runs. We need law enforcement. Law enforcement is great. We need people to protect society, and that's great. But also, that must be tempered with the person knowing their rights. Let law enforcement know you need and want an attorney. When law enforcement calls a person up and asks them, hey, come talk to me, I want to talk to you about a case, come down to the office, I think people don't really think about that that should have that presumption of innocence until they have been affected, until they have been accused of a crime, or until someone they know have been accused of a crime. So I think it's always a good idea to have a lawyer with you if you're going to go down and talk to law enforcement, just to make sure you're not saying anything that's hurtful to yourself, and also just to make sure that your rights are being protected. People don't know what they should say, what they shouldn't say. When a person goes down and talk to law enforcement, they're not going to tell them their rights. They don't have to do all that. This person is voluntarily coming down and talking to them, so they're going to let them talk. But it's always a better idea to have an advocate there for you and say, hey, you might not want to answer that question, or let's talk about this me and you talk about this a little further before you go further talking to the officer about this. I keep doing criminal defense because I can see people's rights being infringed. I can see people's rights sometimes taken for granted, and people need someone to advocate for them. People need someone to say, hey, I'm going to fight for you. That, I'm not going to judge you in your situation. I'm not going to say, yeah, you did it. No, no, no. When my clients walk into my office, they walk into a judgment-free zone. They walk into an office where I say, hey, come in, have a seat, and tell me what happened. I don't want to be that attorney that's gonna have a predisposed negative position against my client. I want to listen to them, and I basically want to be their advocate. They need somebody that can be willing to listen to what they have to say, listen to their side of the story, and being willing to fight for them no matter who is saying that that they commit this crime. I want to be that person that says, hey, I believe you. I see that you're charged with it. I see the facts, and I'm willing to fight for you against all odds. I make sure I'm that guy. What I try to do is make sure I look at every possible defense. I make sure that their rights weren't violated. I make sure that if they were pulled over for a traffic violation, then it's a legitimate traffic violation. That it really wasn't an infraction of the law for them to be pulled over. The law states that for a police officer to pull over someone, they must have reasonable, articulable suspicion to pull that person over. So I mean, there must have been some infraction of the law to cause that officer to pull this person over. Well, I'm gonna make sure that was the case, because if it wasn't the case, then anything that happened after that, any evidence that come in, I'm gonna fight to get it deemed inadmissible, because my client's rights were violated. And I think at the essence of my law firm, at the essence of just society, we should have rights. And those rights should not be just thrown to the side just because someone says that, well, we're doing this for justice. No, justice demands that our rights be protected. And when I represent my client, I make sure that I represent those rights, and I make sure I fight for them, and I make sure I'm a strong advocate for those people. That's what I do, and that's why I'm a criminal defense lawyer.